Well, let's go ahead and get started. So we're here with Stephen Hutchinson today from Union Adventist University's Music Department. My name's Kevin Michaelenko, and I'm the Director of Enrollment Services. And we're hosting, this is another series of Zooms that we've been hosting since June. And we're excited to have the music program this evening. So at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Stephen, and he's got a presentation and open it up for questions.
Great. Thanks, Kevin. All right. Well, hello. Janice, is it?
Yes. Yeah, you're right.
Hey, nice to unofficially meet you, I guess. Yeah, Kevin had told me a little bit, I think, about you asking about our department. So I'm glad you could join us tonight for this meeting. Again, my name is Stephen Hutchinson. I am an assistant professor of music here at Union Adventist University, and I am kind of in charge of all of the instrumental side of our music program. So I direct the band and the orchestra, and I also teach several of our core music major classes, as well as some electives that we offer to the broader campus. I do have a presentation to share, just some, general information about what it means to be a music major, what that could look like here at Union, and then just kind of some guidance, and then we'll have some time for some questions if you have any about the program or about Union or the enrollment process or anything like that. One of the things that, is really important to decide, first of all, is music what you would like to major in? And then once you've kind of decided, this is something I'm really interested in, there are a lot of places that you can do that. So there are a lot of great Adventist universities that do that. There are a lot of great public universities that do that. And so I wanted to start with just focusing on why choose Union Adventist University to study music. So one of the things that really stands out to me is our small class sizes allow us to really individualize instruction. For example, in some of my classes last year, I had 2 or 3 students. Our program is a smaller program, which really allows us to tailor those classes to the strengths and really to the weaknesses of those students. If a student is really struggling with a concept, we don't just have to push forward and hope they figure it out. We can take time really to dive deeper into that. We're flexible enough with our schedules to allow a lot of outside of class instructor and student tutoring. And so really the smaller size of the program to me is a really big strength and an asset for students who are majoring in music here, just for making sure that they get out of the program what they need individually. The second thing is, or the third thing, I guess, is the leadership opportunities that are really abundant because of the smaller program size. I know that so I actually graduated from Union College back in 2011. And one of the things that stood out to me when I got to my student teaching experiences or I went out into the career field is that the types of experiences I had in the music program were not like the types of experiences that my peers in my profession had received, where some students were going into student teaching and that was their first experience in front of a classroom. I had lots of opportunities to do that here at Union, both in front of our college ensembles, in front of the academy ensembles here that's just down the street. And then in local schools that our education program was able to place me in. I also got a chance to premiere some of my own compositions here with our college ensembles. And those are not the types of experiences that you would always get in a larger program, just because there's simply more competition for that. There's a lot more mouths to feed, so to speak. And so if you're interested in getting experience, like real world experience, being in front of an ensemble to direct, or being in front of a classroom to practice your classroom management, or if you're interested in performing at different churches, there's just lots of opportunities to take on leadership roles like that here. We also have students that offer music lessons to community members. So as I mentioned, we have the academy just down the street, and we have a vibrant church community here in the area. And so there's always elementary students and high school students that are looking to take music lessons. And we try to connect our music majors with those students when we can to allow them to start not only getting income from music, but also practicing their skills and developing that private studio experience. So those are some of the reasons that I feel like Union's program specifically really enhances that experience of getting a bachelor's degree here. We do have a couple of different degrees that we offer. First is just a generic Bachelor of Arts in Music. We also offer a Bachelor of Science in Music, and you can have two different emphases in this one. And this is kind of an interesting one because it doesn't just apply to people who want to do music for a career. We've had students who do music as a pre-med degree. So we actually offer a Bachelor of Science in Music with biomedical science emphasis. We also have a Bachelor of Science in Music with sacred music emphasis. So that degree is really flexible, depending on whether you would like to, pursue this passion of music while you prepare to go on for a degree in medicine. I do know that I've talked to several people that have gone into medical school who have done music in college and in high school, and they actually have said that their medical schools accept students with music as a minor or major at an increased rate because they know the discipline and just really commitment that a degree like that takes. So it can be a really cool way to pair two interests if that's another passion. Our sacred music emphasis is great for those interested in maybe going into pastoral leadership or music ministry. There's a lot of really great opportunities that stem from that. We also have a Bachelor of Music in Performance. So this degree is great for those planning to go on to like graduate studies and become professional performers, whether that's in symphonies or in studio recording sessions. A lot of really great opportunities to really hone in on your ability to perform your instrument or voice. And then our Bachelor of Music in Music Education has a K-12 endorsement, and typically you emphasize instrumental or vocal for this one. This was actually my degree, one of my degrees while I was here, and I did an instrumental emphasis. But again, it's a really great pairing with our education program here to get you out in front of classrooms and real world experience to prepare you for the exciting world of music education. We also offer an Associates of Science in Music Pedagogy for kind of a shorter term degree that's really geared toward preparing people for lessons studio type of instruction. Not listed on here, we also offer a minor in music. So if you are majoring in something else, a lot of students choose to do a minor in music. It's a much smaller requirement for the courses that you take, but you still get to explore that passion area and you get to develop those talents that God has given you while pursuing your major that you plan to do a career in. I'll tell you from experience that our plans that we go into college with are not always the plans we come out with. When I was in high school, I had a band director come to my high school from Union and recruit me. And, you know, he was making a very strong case. I was really interested in music and composition. And I was also very interested in engineering and architecture. So I chose to come to Union as a civil engineering major. And I had a very clear-cut plan to do 2 years at Union and then transfer somewhere else to finish my degree. But I decided that maybe I'd like to do a music minor as well. And so I took 2 electives my freshman year. After 1 semester of those electives, I knew that this is what I needed to be doing. So when you get a chance to explore things through electives or a minor that you think might be interesting to you, sometimes it really just literally changes your life. So it's definitely something I recommend doing. Career opportunities in music. So a lot of people think that, if you major in music, you're just going to go be a musician and perform. But there are a lot of different ways that you can go with that degree. These are just some of them. They're especially with the industry emerging with technology, there's just an ever increasing number of careers and needs that people have that music majors can fulfill. One of them is a music director, obviously directing ensembles, whether that's for local symphonies or community bands and things like that. And then obviously in a school setting as well. Music therapy. If you major in music, a lot of students choose to go on and pursue a graduate degree in music therapy, if that's an interest of theirs. Minister of Music, as I mentioned, our sacred music emphasis degree really pairs well with that, going to lead out in churches that employ music ministers. Sound engineering technician. We do have an emerging music technology program here within our music program with a brand new studio that we just renovated and got ready. So that's an interest of mine in particular. And so I'm eager to coach students who are interested in kind of tailoring their degree specific to that. Classroom teacher. Again, our music education degree leads you into teaching theory, history, performance at any level. Composer. That is a career that takes a little bit to get started into, but especially if you go into graduate studies after your degree, you can, use those gifts to share your compositions and ideas with the world. Professional musician, this is the one that people think of immediately a lot when you talk about being a music major. But there are ample opportunities to make a living as a performer, and not just in the big city symphonies, but there are recording studios that hire session musicians. There are just a lot of little local theaters and things like that that employ musicians. So there are definitely ways to make a living doing that. And a lot of times that specific career is paired with the last one here of a private studio instructor. And these are all skills that you can develop here. You can really kind of tailor your degree depending on what you discover your goals really are, whether that's to pursue a graduate degree afterwards. We have students that are accepted into graduate schools without problems. We are an accredited institution, so our degrees, you can go on and pursue a graduate degree at any public or private university. And then also just going into the world of education or into the world of studio instruction or really whatever you choose. So why choose a music major? First of all, it's got to be a passion. It's got to be something that you love. And if it's not, you'll find out very quickly because you spend a lot of time in a practice room. You spend a lot of time, wrestling with music theory concepts and dissecting the works of Beethoven and Chopin. And if it's not something you love, you'll quickly discover that this maybe isn't the road for you. But if you love thinking creatively, if you love thinking critically, if you enjoy the process and the discipline that practice and performance bring, if you like working in ensemble settings, really developing your ability to work as a team and as a group to accomplish something bigger. If you like the idea of, going into one of those careers we just talked about. And then this is probably the main reason that I found my way into the music industry and a music major. It's a way to express yourself through the arts and make an impact for God in that world. There are so many opportunities to really express the beauty and the awe that he inspires. And it's our pleasure here at Union to work with students to help them develop the skills to do just that. So again, I mentioned that our graduates, you can go on to graduate school or into the career field. This is just a list of a couple of our graduates, both recent and then not so recent. Daniel Ikpama is a recent graduate. He's a DMA candidate here at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. Alexis Reed is a K-10 music teacher out in Palisades Christian Academy in Washington. Ronnie Zanella just finished his first year as assistant professor of music at Pacific Union College. I graduated from here, like I said, and I'm now assistant professor of music here at Union Adventist University. A colleague of mine, Benjamin Stevens, went on to direct choirs in Kentucky and public school systems. So really, these are not all of our graduates, obviously, but just a sample to show you that, I mean, really the sky's the limit in what you can achieve when you start your career with a degree here at Union. We do have great facilities and resources. I'm actually in one of them. This is our recital hall. We use this here monthly for general student recitals. Our juniors and seniors give their kind of culminating recitals here. And we actually have community groups and musicians that rent out this space because it is such a great place to perform. Acoustically, aesthetically, everything is just a beautiful environment. We have lots of practice rooms, all with pianos and everything you need in there to hone your craft. We have a new studio, like I mentioned, to develop your ability with music technology, which is kind of an increasing demand in our career, but also to just record yourself and be able to improve yourself that way by instant feedback. We have a wide range of instruments here. Our music majors take techniques classes, so they're learning, even if flute is not your instrument, you're going to take a woodwind techniques class so that you can learn the basics of how to produce sound and teach the basics of all the woodwind instruments. So we have instruments here. You don't have to, provide those on your own. We have some great pianos here as well. If piano is your instrument of choice, pianos that are regularly maintained and kept in a great condition for practice and performance. And then we also just have amazing support here from our career coaching and academic advising, both in our student success team and here with our program director and working again with the education program for our music education students. There's just great all-around support. We also have 7 local Adventist churches and 5 local universities here. What that means is there are performance and collaboration opportunities galore. So if you're interested in getting out in front of church communities to share your gifts, if you're interested in partnering with other university students for group or performances or anything like that, we're really striving to connect with all of those local community aspects here in Lincoln. I mentioned performance opportunities. We do have several ensembles that perform here. Choir, Unionaires, which is kind of our audition select choir, symphonic band, chamber orchestra, and a handbell ensemble. And those groups perform pretty regularly throughout the school year. So we have pretty much monthly performances here at the College View Church. We also perform at several Adventist and non-Adventist churches here in the Lincoln community. We also take any chances we have to do regional and national tours with our musicians, getting them out in front of audiences and just getting them some really good experience in the music touring aspect of our field. We also perform fall and spring semester kind of culminating concerts. We both attend and host music festivals. And then we also have our monthly general recitals that are open to any student here on campus that is working on their skills as a musician. They can just sign up and have monthly performance opportunities here in the recital hall. This, I think, is one of my last slides. This is just an example of 1 year. I think this is the sophomore year. If you were doing a Bachelor of Science in Music, a lot of times studying music is a very vague description of what you might do. And so if you do get a chance on the UAU website, you can go into our undergraduate degrees and find these program guides or degree guides. in our music page. I think that's also maybe uau.edu/music. You can find that. And you'll find links to all of these degree guides that show you semester by semester what types of courses you can take. All the symbols on this may look a little bit confusing at first, but that's because I didn't include the key for what they all mean. But just at a glance, this is your sophomore year as a Bachelor of Science in Music major. You're still taking human biology, writing for scholarly audiences, a lot of general education credits, but you're also deep into the core of our music major. So you're taking Music Theory 3. There are 4 total semesters of that. Sight Singing and Ear Training 3. There are 4 total semesters of that. You're taking a music history course. There are 4 semesters of that. You're participating in at least one of our performance ensembles, and then you're adding other electives. The next semester, you see you're finishing up the theory, sight singing, and music history. You're also adding things like form and analysis, which is more in-depth study of compositions and kind of what makes them tick and how they're structured. And then you also have major performance area, electives, ensemble performance. So you can see that once you get into the second, third year of this degree, the majority of your courses are going to be music heavy. They're going to be into those core courses and electives within the music program, but still very doable at the 16 credit hours per semester. So that's kind of an overview of our program. I know it's a lot of information, and I think this will be recorded for you to go back and look at. But again, I'd encourage you also to go to our uau.edu/music website. So you can find information like those degree guides and more information about potential careers and our academic bulletin to see the full listing of courses we offer. So at this time, I want to open it up to all of you, Janice, and to see if you have any questions about Union, about being a music major, about our program here specifically, or enrollment.
So one of my questions is I have a passion for both piano and voice. I took piano for years, and so now I play for church, but then I'm taking voice lessons right now. Is there a way to do both? I know that would be an instrumental and a vocal.
Yeah, absolutely. So typically you do choose an emphasis, but that doesn't mean it's the only instrument you practice. It's not the only instrument you take lessons on.
Okay.
So really, once you get here and you start taking lessons, what I'd recommend is take lessons in both. See which one you connect with. Sometimes it might just be the professor you connect with the best. And so we have a couple of students right now that are I'm thinking of one of our students is a clarinet major, and she is incredibly talented at the clarinet. But she also sings in the choir. She also performs as a soloist and in duets all the time for our music program. So you can continue to pursue a multitude of instruments. It's just that you as you get deeper into the program, the expectations for whatever your emphasized instrument is are going to get higher. And so that will be the one that you really just kind of focus in on towards the end of your degree.
Gotcha. Okay. And then I was thinking, so I think I would want to go for a private studio instructor. Do you have any recommendations for like that?
Yeah, absolutely. So for a private studio instructor, you can definitely benefit from a music education degree, but it's going to focus a lot on classroom teaching. So while some of the pedagogy, just the science of learning how to teach that can be good, if you're not wanting to teach in a classroom setting, sometimes that's a little overboard on the education side of things. A lot of students that are interested in doing music pedagogy major either in music performance or just do the general Bachelor of Arts in Music degree. It really kind of depends on what you want to do with it. And sometimes you can discover that more clearly once you get into the program as well. The good thing that most of these degrees have in common is that the first semester to 2 or 3 are pretty similar. So if you get into the program and you decide, well, I thought I wanted to do studio instructor, but I'm really enjoying this performance thing, and maybe I'll go do a graduate degree, in piano, or maybe I discovered I really like composition. Now that's, my aim. There are ways to kind of shift that emphasis or even degree within that program pretty easily within the first 2 years.
Okay, awesome. I think that's all the questions I had.
Okay. Well, yeah, my email address you can find on the website as well. It's just steven.hutchison@uau.edu. But I'm happy to answer any other questions you think of later, or just advice. It can be a very different world, going to college, going to a university, and there's a lot of decisions to make. So anything I can do to help make that transition easier, just let me know.
Awesome. Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Yeah, great. All right. Well, I think I know everything about this meeting except for how it ends. So I'm going to let Kevin come back in and take care of that. Oh, here's, I did want to mention also, this is Dr. Ricky Little. He wasn't able to be with us for this meeting, but he is our program director. Dr. Little has a DMA, and he is our choral director here. He also teaches voice. So if that was one of the things you're interested in, he's a phenomenal vocal coach, and really does a great job at, I'm just always astounded at what he's able to bring out of his musicians that he teaches. So
He plays a mean drum.
he does play a mean drum as well.
Yes,
Yeah.
he knows how to
Yeah.
make the drums sound really good. Well, thank you for joining us and being a part of this. And Janice, if you have any questions, you know how to get a hold of me. I think you and I have exchanged emails or texts, so feel free to reach out if you need anything enrollment related.
Okay, sounds good.
I am sorry. I completely forgot because it wasn't in my slideshow. We have a scholarship available. So we actually have some scholarships available through our Wayne and Harriet Hooper Music Fund, that we are actually offering new music majors this year a $1,000 renewable scholarship over 4 years. So if you do declare as a music major and you're interested in receiving that scholarship, all you have to do is let us know you're interested. And as long as you are here within those 4 years, that $1,000 scholarship shows up every year.
Okay, awesome.
In addition to the $500 for tonight.
Yeah, and that's an add-on scholarship. So whatever the Student Financial Services has awarded in your financial package, that $1,000 goes on top of that.
Okay. Awesome.
Yep. Well, thanks for joining us tonight, Janice, and
Yeah.
look forward to connecting with you over the coming days and weeks.
Awesome. Thank you.
Alrighty, take care.